Well, what to say about episode 3? This thing was stuffed with so many things, from romance to action, pretty good comedy. The music I did feel was a little mixed, but overall, wow, this is hard to judge. It was a little bit weaker than episode 2, slightly stronger than episode 1. It's in a weird nebulous area because I thought they were going to take a little bit more time. So let's get into it. The big thing, and this is a non spoiler review, but we really can't avoid it. Bernard is back. I'll just leave it there and get very vague. So Bernard has returned. He's given an incredible message that the world is facing a kind of doomsday apocalypse, and he has a lot of fateful choices ahead. Beyond a certain point, if he makes the wrong choice, or we make the wrong choice, there's no turning back. There will be an apocalypse. It's quite a heavy burden. If you know the past Westworld, and again, I want to be vague, we know Bernard is basically Arnold. So we're going through a lot of Arnold's memories and his thoughts and feelings, and that will propel the journey he takes quite literally to Dune. Again, I'm going to keep it vague. He just goes on this very weird desert trek. The only thing I felt was a little bit wrong was the musical choices. I think they were a little on the nose and silly, but the fighting style, his rapport with his, I'll just say companion, that felt very, very true to the character. Again, a few moments were overly sentimental, but he hasn't been here for a while, so I thought that was fine. The only problem is we do get a lot of him, and his story was fine. And then we turn to Maeve and Caleb, and their story was also pretty good and pretty exciting. But we kind of are asking ourselves in the back of our mind, when are we going to learn more about this tower, and how does that fit in with the nanotech, with the flies, with the Dolores conspiracy? So they could have provided a few more answers there, but we are creeping closer to resolutions because if you saw the last episode, we were given the Chicago theme park, and I thought they were going to take a while to basically infiltrate it, but no, they get into it straight away and they just go on this interesting spy mission, which has a lot of twists and turns. I thought for a minute it was a little too easy how Maeve takes down a few of the hosts, but they actually did explain it. It's a really quick shot, so you have to pay attention to these episodes. They're loading a lot within each shot. Again, I thought the music was a little too on the nose. It's a little distracting. I was fearful I would have to give the episode kind of middle grade because it just felt a little flashy and it was well done. But I thought, okay, where are we going with this? But then they slowly and methodically crept up to a very terrifying conclusion. I guess some people guessed this or predicted this if you've seen the trailers and maybe have spotted a few of the clues. I was genuinely surprised. They did give a bit of foreshadowing before the thing happens. I'm going to keep it vague, but I did think William coming back to face Maeve, we kind of saw that coming. That's not much of a spoiler. We know that they've been antagonists for a while, so them getting into it was fine. It happens at the appropriate moment. So again, I don't want to say when because it was a real shocker. And what happens was also pretty shocking. It was like, oh, okay, all right. That seemed real quick, but then it's like, oh, okay. So the twists toward the end felt very well done. I did think Maeve, again, they're leaning too much into the Neo thing. We all know Matrix has deeply influenced Nolan. He cited it as one of his favorite films, and his brother's no different. So clearly, the Matrix has imprinted itself largely on Westworld. I did feel Maeve's powers now, whatever you would call them, her tapping into the other hosts and being able to interface now, I guess, with technology, it does feel very close to the one. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it did feel a little derivative. There's actually a lot of things they're taking from here besides the Matrix. Dune, of course, but there's a lot of grab bagging from other sources. For two-thirds of it, I did not have an issue, but I thought this is getting a little bit annoying. But then the ending really redeemed a lot of the previous sections. It is worth seeing the whole thing. Probably the one nitpick is how Frankie knows she's in danger with her teddy bear. That felt like too obvious a clue, but so be it. You got to do something to move the plot forward. And the ending was, yeah, it was kind of generic, but it made sense. I did think Caleb at this one moment when he needed to basically break into something, all he kept doing was trying to pull the door, and you're like, the door's not going to get pulled. Maybe you want to try to break through the door in other ways. But I understood he was in a lot of emotional turmoil. And of course, it's going to raise a lot of questions, which I had, if you've seen the other videos I've done, I kind of guessed this that the family he has is not who we think they are. But now the question would become, was this always the case? Was he always being deceived? Did he have false memories? what happened in the 7 years, right? There's a lot that could have happened. And if this is all Dolores, why is she doing this? Why is she toying with people? Why does she need Maeve? Why does she need Caleb? A lot of questions, but it isn't as frustrating as the previous seasons, where it did feel like they were just meandering. A lot of people say season one was peak Westworld. It just felt really strong narratively. The twists made sense, the characters made sense, but after then it kind of drifted. Well, it seems they're getting disciplined again, and it's cohering very well. So I'm very excited for the next episode. If you are new to Westworld, you will probably have to see a few episodes, but not that many. So I will try to do some breakdowns for the other seasons. It's moving pretty fast. For Westworld, these 3 episodes have done a lot. Very exciting stuff. Of course, you keep asking questions: where are the other characters? What's their story? What's happening with Clementine? You'd like a few more gaps to be filled, but they did fill in quite a few gaps now with Bernard, and that's very intriguing. So there we are with Westworld episode 3, a very exciting next chapter in the saga of season 4.